juicy. My mouth still hasn't really come down from all the juice. I put here that like I'd be flabbergasted if they didn't get married because they just seem so strong and excited. Like the difference between how Tom was stood there and how Stephen was stood there, to me was very telling. There's a huge smile that Ollie sees, sorry, that we see from Ollie when he sees Demi, like a huge smile, like a really, really big smile. He does his vows. His vows are, I put here, are wow, and actually set me off. Benayes is probably the one I liked the least. I think because he's quite a slender dude anyway. I think the long coat thing, I wasn't feeling that at all. I didn't like that. Now, Kat and Freddie, oh dear. What on people them? So this is the penultimate reaction to Love Is Blind. Well, my reaction to Love Is Blind, the UK version. So episode 10 and 11. I know that they've been out for a little while, but I had a few things that I was reacting to. But I really wanted just to give my two pence, my. What is that? I'm grateful every single day that I'm an inside person because you see something like that that's crawling like that, there is no way. Make sure make sure my things are closed. Oh, that's so gross. It's like Stranger Things, but like real. Anyway, so I've actually just watched the reunion, and I wasn't gonna bother doing these because like, oh, well, no one's actually watching my reactions anyway. But you never know who might stumble across my reactions and want to watch them. So I'm going to do my thoughts anyway. So episode 10 and 11 were basically the last two episodes of the season, and they kind of did a recap. So the last thing that we saw in episode 9, if you remember what I saw from episode 9, they were all getting ready to, I guess, gear up to the final vows. Whether you final vows, that's married at first sight, I'm thinking of, but basically the last thing that they were going to do, and whether or not they're going to say I do, and whether Love was actually blind or not. So I'm going to do this in two parts. I'm going to keep this quite brief, two parts, and then I'll do the recap, which the reunion, sorry, which was juicy. My mouth still hasn't really come down from all the juice. Right, so episode 10 is a recap of all of the journey so far, and then they jump onto the stag do's. So 6 stags, 6 hen do's, and it was actually quite cool. Like, they were going around London, like there was all like a nice kind of vibe. I think they were drinking beer and stuff. They're very much like, this is our last night of freedom. And I think what was really nice for them is that everybody was kind of in the same boat. Like, it's very rare, unless you've, I can't stop staring at that thing, unless you've planned it where you've got someone else that's getting married at the same time. How often is it that there's more than one groom, or there's more than one wife, bride? And particularly in the sense of the way that the journey has gone. That was quite cool. The Hindu, they went to a bar. I've typed here with with stripping men, but it looks like a vibe though. Demi's in a vibe. She's just like, I'm so glad to be here with my girls and stuff. And the fact that they're all kind of like, we're all friends. I think we've made friends for life. I think Nicole said the same thing. Jasmine was talking about boundaries with her mum and her friends, and just saying that, look, we've had to really put in some boundaries. And be like, mums, you need to understand that that's not okay. And her friends were like, but you do know that she will be involved. Like, there's no point in trying to. There's no point in trying to make her not involved, because she will just be. Sabrina was crying about just how happy she is, the fact that she's found this love, and the fact it's just so overwhelming. Like, she was really, and I was really happy for her when she was saying that, because I guess it was like a pinch me moment to be like, as if I've entered this experiment, I've actually come through, I've actually found somebody. I just can't believe how happy I am. So let me cry. So that was quite cool. And their friends were reassuring her that, she's really deserving of it. Sorry, Demi was seeing the time apart as a real kind of telltale sign, really, as to whether, and I think it makes sense. You spent all this time with someone. Is it actually as sick as I thought? Or is it just because we've been wrapped up in this whole TV show experiment thing and yada, yada, yada? So I think she's got her head screwed on in that regard as to, you know, the time will tell. And the fact that she wasn't going to meet Ollie's family until the wedding. Which to me, I've been like, well, you've already met my family, come bowling and all that kind of stuff, met my friends, got you vegan nachos. I would want to see the family. Not saying it would make a difference necessarily, but I just want to see like what kind of stuff you come from. Steven's in really good spirits. Same with Benaya. They're all playing games and there's beer and this football thing. Like everyone is just vibes in. It just seems like everyone just they're geared up, nervous but excited about the wedding. Jasmine talks to Bobby. She's around. Yeah, so Jasmine calls Bobby and she's basically been like, yeah, like I'm with these strippers and da 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 da. And that fact that she's going to be his stripper later. I just thought that was really cute. The fact that, you know, she can be out having a great time with her girls, but she still wanted to check in with her man. And also to be just like, yo, I'm going to give you that Beyonce partition vibe when we get home. Safe, rate that. Ollie, always thinking about his Demi, which I thought was really, really cute. And he's out with Aaron. And so Aaron, it's amazing actually how Aaron, you know, if there was like a supporting role, like you know how people get like the best supporting actress or best supporting actor in a movie or whatever, Aaron was have to get that because I can't understand what part he played in the actual main arc. But in terms of supporting Ali, like he's been right there. What Ali did say that he's worried about though is that they don't Demi and him don't have the years that people like Demi's parents have, for example, which is just standing in it like you met on a TV show what 6 weeks ago or however long it is. So I think it's natural to have those kind of the foundations that he's looking for. I don't think he thought that they had. Tom was scared. He was talking to Freddie. So I'm talking to Freddie, and he was scared. Even though it's been great, it's been really great with him and Maria, but it's also like, what the actual f? Because, you know, do I just trust the process? And like so far, I've trusted the process, and it's led me here, which has been great. And just take that last leap of faith and just marry her. But I think he's also got some real concerns about their differences and, you know, some of their values and stuff. And they've had little clashes along the way, which are pretty big clashes, really. For Kat, the love she's got for Freddie is insane. You know, he's asked and said so she's asked him and basically saying to her friends that, look, I've made it really clear that, like, because if you're not going to be there, like, I'm not doing it. I'm not expecting to walk down the aisle and just be stood up there looking, you know, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. So she's really ready to marry Freddie. Nicole's really happy and excited too. And like I said, like sisters for life. They did this whole Moulin Rouge thing, and you know, it's just a vibe. It's the next day, and it's like bittersweet for them leaving the apartments and stuff. And they're all just like, it's been amazing being here, and I don't really want to go. Ollie's kind of delaying leaving because like, I just don't want to leave you, which I think was again really cute. They have this, you know, this whole thing about FaceTime and, you know, how he's going to spend lots of time talking to her and he's like, I love you. And she's like, I love you. It's all really Hallmark and Clintons. And it's like, ugh, okay, you guys, that's really cute. They're all kind of just saying, look, I'm going to see you at the wedding. And, you know, they all say the goodbyes and stuff. Kat's really missing Freddie already. But he actually wrote her like a little card and put it in her luggage and was like, you know, I'm always with you. But again, is an extra step for someone to do. Bearing in mind, she said that to her friends that she's quizzed him to make sure that like you're gonna be there. Do you want to do this? He's put like a little like note in a luggage and stuff. So, I mean, that's just again really reassuring. So, the wedding days. So it starts off with Sabrina and Steven's wedding day. Sabrina is really smiling, excited. I've got here Steven too, and they seem so solid. Like this is the thing, like so solid. Like I put here that like I'd be flabbergasted if they didn't get married because they just seem so strong and excited. You know, talking about the future, where they're gonna live afterwards. Then we get to meet Steven's mum and dad, who we haven't seen yet before. And I put here the Sobrummy. The Sobrummy, which is awesome. So Steven's parents are very much just like, really nice to see you. You look great. They look really happy for him. Sabrina's mum, very much the same. You know, you look beautiful when she came out in the dress and stuff. She looks stunning. And she's like, you know, as much as this is your day, it's also your life as well. And whatever you decide will be there for you regardless. Again, I've put here, they're getting married. They're definitely getting married. So I put here that she looked beautiful. She looked really, really stunning. Sabrina's brother walks her down the aisle, which I think again was really, really cool. You can see that they were nervous, and I think for Sabrina, she was. It seemed to be that there was never any doubt in Stephen's mind that he was going to marry Sabrina. Sabrina, she felt, I don't know, it felt more like there was still some doubts in her head, and it looked as though it was more like, is this real? Like, is this actually real? Actually going to make this step? But at no point did I think that they weren't going to get married, and they absolutely did. Yeah, I put here the staring into each other's souls when they were standing up there at that altar. Really beautiful vows from Stephen and Sabrina. They both gave really, really like heartfelt vows and stuff. And yeah, they became Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So it was really awesome that they followed through. I said they really, I don't know what they said to each other. I just thought was really powerful, really, really powerful words, and they seemed to really mean it. So I've put here a big tick because I didn't expect anything different. So that's a big tick from them. So that was sick. That was really good. Then it goes to Tom and Maria. So with Tom and Maria, they've had a great journey, but also concerns about the values, and there are some, I guess, flaws how they see their roles when it comes to men and women. And I think for Maria as well, I think she was quite conscious of that she knows that they've had some conflicts in that regard. She's very emotional, like she's very emotional, and she's like, we would never have met in real life. It's amazing that we've met because we wouldn't have given each other the time of day in the real world. He cuts to Tom, and Tom's sad about his mum because his mum's really not going to be there. His sisters are there though. Maria is so emotional. She really loves him, like really, really loves him. Tom seems really calm, and he's talking to his sisters about what he's going to do, and he's pretty certain about what he's going to do now. He's gone kind of back and forth about it. They both just really want to see each other. They're both just like, I'm just really keen to see each other now. And he sees Maria's mum, and she's like, call me mum. Like, she goes to see him, and he's like, I'm not gonna let you down. And she's like, yeah, call me mum. And he was like, and that's such a big thing for someone to say that because I how much I love my mum. It's amazing that you would want me to call you that. So I put it's a really sweet moment with her and Tom. And again, she's just like, please just respect and treat Maria well. And Maria's wearing the watch from her dad on her wrist as well. So she's like, that's going to be part of him that's going to be there. So she looks, again, really stunning as well. Absolutely beautiful. Now, with this one, I'm 95% certain that they're going to get married. Because there was just something about, like, they both seem really like they're into each other. But there was just something about I don't know, there was just something there was something that I was like, I'm not quite sure. I put Tom's vows were lovely, but they were short. But he did tick everything within what he said, but I did put it was short. I've put that Maria's was more punchy, and I felt more from Maria's vows than I felt for him. But as that was happening, there was lots of like swallowing, like there was lots of like darting eyes and not making much eye contact. Like the difference between how Tom was stood there and how Stephen was stood there, to me was very telling. And I've actually put here the eyes weren't giving what Stephen's were. Maybe that's the reason why it was so short. And the fact that he was like, you unconditionally love me. Like he's very much aware of what it is that he's getting from her. And I think the fact that he's like, yeah, you unconditionally love me, is that a kind of roundabout way of saying that I don't know if I unconditionally love you. Either way, I had to pause. So when he was like, no, I literally had to pause because I was like, are you joking? Because I get it, like, because he was like, oh, the values thing. The values, he's just not sure whether they've had enough time to really work through those values. And look, I think it's a very valid point if you think that there is a real contrast with how you think you're going to do life together because of the way that she sees the world and that you see the world. And I'm sure you started speaking about kids and stuff, and like it's like, you know I don't know how we're going to raise the kids together and stuff. But how do you go from, I don't know, I can't imagine having a conversation with someone's parents and then being like, call me mum, and you're like, yeah, and I'm not gonna let you down. At what point do you think leaving her daughter at the altar wasn't letting her down? Because surely you would have said from the get go, look, I'm gonna let you know from early. I'm probably gonna say no. I mean, I don't know what the parameters are like in terms of the show, and whether there's any kind of indication you can give someone. And naturally, it makes for better TV, doesn't it, when it's more dramatic? Forgetting that actually these are people. So I don't know. I just felt like, bro, how are you gonna do that? Like I don't know. I said I had to pause it. I was just like, as if you actually said no after all of that, and then he has to actually walk away, like literally leaving her at the altar. Her mum is so sad. Maria is so sad. She kind of understands, and she gets the point, and she gets the whole thing about the male female roles and stuff. And she's like, I'll always be a little sad because she really wanted to get married to him. I think she really wanted to get married anyway, and I think she really saw a lot in him that she thought that this was her time, and there's always going to be part of her that's sad that that didn't happen. So yeah, that was a shame. Then it goes to Ali and Demi, and she's nervous. She's like really nervous. He's overthinking and he's overwhelmed, but he also does love her. So he's like, I know that I love her, but I'm just getting overwhelmed. Now, what I thought was really interesting is that they actually haven't spoke, from what Demi's saying anyway, since leaving the apartments. And Demi's head and heart are not aligned. So I found that really weird because the fact that Ali was like, I don't even want to leave, we're going to FaceTime and da 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 da. And then to like, they have not even spoken. And I get that you maybe need to have the distance to see how you feel, but surely there'll be some kind of like I can't imagine me walking into something where I'm about to marry someone, and I've had absolutely no communication with them whatsoever. Okay, it's different if you just like you're not meant to see the bride before the wedding and all that kind of stuff, but there would have been days leading up to that you could have at least spoken or text or something, and for you to have nothing, I can see why her head and her heart ain't aligned. Absolutely. And he's got a great relationship with Aaron, as I mentioned earlier, and apparently he's the one that can really calm him down when he's nervous and stuff. There's a lovely moment with Ali and his dad, like so when his dad comes and they swap ties. It's Ali's tie and he's wearing the tie, and he's like, we really. He really thanked his dad for who he was and how he got to be there, and they're both like, I love you and I love you, son. And he's like, we're not really that, we don't really say that. Even though we know that's how we feel, we don't really speak like that. So I thought that was really interesting to kind of show that as well. Yeah. So Demi's like, I'm really in love with myself, and she wasn't before. And I think that was really telling. I think that kind of evolving of her, or I guess remembering who she was, I think was something that was really poignant to her. There's a huge smile that Ali sees, sorry, that we see from Ali when he sees Demi, like a huge smile, like a really, really big smile. I think that's amazing. Demi goes first in terms of giving vows and stuff. I put here that Ali's are more emotional than hers. And I put here that Demi looks anxious, and then it ends. The episode ends like on a cliffhanger. Standard. Of course, there had to be at least one cliffhanger. So, episode 11. So, it comes and it's like, right, what is he going to say? Is love blind? And she's like, no. Which I kind of I was shocked and I wasn't at the same time, because there was just something, that whole build up about her being anxious and being nervous and stuff. I kind of just felt, I was like, wouldn't it be such a 180 for her to turn around and say no? And as soon as she says no, he's like, why? Like, he's so like, what? What do you mean? Like, why? And she's like, look, I've really learned to love myself in a whole new way. And it's not a no forever. And I'm just going to walk away and, we don't ever speak again. It's a no for right now. And, it's a really cute moment because they both seem to really understand, like, that no one seems to be angry or really hurt about it. Like, this chapter's over, but the story is not over. Ali is sad, but he's happy. He knows it's not the end. He's like, how can I be sad about something when I know it's not the end? He's like, I can't be sad about it because of what this journey has brought me to in terms of bringing me to her. They both feel the same way. She feels so grateful for the whole experiment, and yeah, like it kind of leaves kind of positive, really, which is really nice. Like it's really really nice. It felt a lot more positive than Maria and Tom. Put it that way. Jasmine and Bobby. Mm, this is another one that was like, they've got to get married. It's Jasmine and Bobby. Yeah, Bobby sees Jasmine as perfect. He is ready. Like there's no question in his head. Like he's ready. Yeah. So Jasmine's mum is not feeling Bobby, and she's like, I feel like you like him more than he likes you, and that she's got some concerns about his ability to be able to provide for the family because he works in sales. Yeah, Jasmine's just like, I just don't. She's telling her friends, that I might need to go against what my mum thinks, even though I listen to my mum all the time. I just feel like I know better. In contrast, Bobby's mum is just over the moon for him. It's like, he just seems so happy, can't wait to welcome her into the family. And then it cuts back to Jasmine getting ready and stuff, and then Jasmine mum comes in and she looks stunning. I'm like proper mother of the bride, and she's like, do you want to make sure? Wanted to make sure that Jasmine didn't outdo her, which I thought was a very interesting way to. I'm guessing she's just joking. Then yeah, I pretty much cut to, because there's a whole really emotional part with Bobby and his family and one of his cousins who obviously passed away, which was really sad, and like he's got like those beads in memory of them, and they're all just very much remembering that cousin, and so it was a really nice way to have them still be part of it, even though they weren't physically present. And yeah, then they get to the wedding part. Bobby's absolutely wowed, but when Jasmine turns around and sees Jasmine, he does his vows. His vows are, I'll put here, are wow, and actually set me off. But then I've actually put both of them wow, underline, 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 and was actually, yeah, quite moved from both of them. The kind of lack of belief in love that Jasmine had, I can kind of see a lot. I can see where that a lot of that can come from, because if you're not loved in the right way, even if you were a bit, like, I'm a big fan of love, I wouldn't be reacting to this show if it wasn't part of me. That's just like an old romantic at heart. That's like, wow, can love genuinely conquer all? Which sounds majorly cheesy, like majorly cheesy, but then at the same time, is it? Like, some of the best love stories that I know about in my actual life with people that I know are some of the most, like, cheesy, rom-commy, novelistic types of love that you could probably come across. So, and they're deeply in love still. So, is it so far-fetched? I don't know, but I think watching her talk about how much Bobby loves her in the way that she feels that she deserves to be loved, and therefore her love back to him. It's just there's a lot of reciprocity there, and a lot of self-worth, and realizing that self-worth, which again is really awesome. And you can see how happy her mum is by the end as well. And yeah, she was really happy. And I put a big smiley face and a big tick. And I was like, they were definitely getting married. Nicole and Benaya, it goes to them now. Nicole is confused again, like Demi, Hayden Hart. And then it's a shame because Benaya's family can't be at the wedding because his granddad's unwell in Germany. So, but they have given the blessing to both of them. Nicole is concerned about divorce and the nomadic knife. So I think he mentioned something about divorce, and she was like, why would that even be something that would be in your mind to even say, like, and she's worried about his kind of nomadic lifestyle and whether that's going to have any impact on them actually staying together. The thing is, though, they both look amazing, as did Jasmine and Bobby, by the way. They both look amazing. She's scared he may not be in it for the long haul, and that he may just throw in the towel when there's a problem. I've also put here that I didn't like his coat. So, like, of all the suits and stuff, Benaya's is probably the one I liked the least. I think because he's quite a slender dude anyway. I think the long coat thing, I wasn't feeling that at all. I didn't like that. But it was his wedding day. I'm sure he loved it. I put here, Ben is so smitten, and it's mad to me that she's like, potentially he would throw in the towel because he's so smitten with her, like so smitten from the get go. I can't imagine him like letting any situation mean that they wouldn't work it out or whatever. I put here the vows were lovely. I put more Ben's than hers. even though they were both impactful, like I think I was moved a little bit more by Benaya's. I was 85% sure that they were going to get married. But this is probably the biggest bit of doubt that I had so far, because I just thought, I don't know whether she's as into it. And she's like, of course I think Love is Blind, and of course she said yes. And her new name is uh, I don't. It's not Grindelwald, because that's the guy from Harry Potter. But Greenville Birdie. Anyway, it's a name that she couldn't pronounce, so I just thought it was really cute. But yeah, they're really happy. They went off into the sunset, and again, I kind of expected it, but there was just that bit of doubt that I was like, I'm not sure. Now, Kat and Freddie. Oh dear. So Kat's ready to commit to Freddie. I think they're both like getting quite emotional. He might get quite emotional. There's a little note and some earrings that Freddie left for Kat as like a wedding gift. And Kat is very much in love. Yeah, she's very much in love. She loves the earrings. She's really happy about them. She's showing her friends that, like, oh my god, like, obviously he's really into this. He's gonna do this, and she talks about the rejection and the fact that she's just like, if he's not gonna be there, like, I just wouldn't even go. I wouldn't even be part of it. And then it cuts to Freddie talking to his sister, and his sister's just like, look, I think you're lovely. I think, you know, you're a beautiful couple together. She's like, but I just think you're very different, and she's really concerned. She's just really concerned whether he's doing the right thing. She's like, obviously, I'll support you in whatever you do. She's like, but I just think you guys are really different. And there's a really lovely moment with him and Jack as well, which I think was really cute. Now, I thought was really odd is that when Kat was getting married, like her dad was trying to talk to her and stuff, and she wasn't really, like, you know, you would. I mean, I don't know. I can only speak about like how I would be with my family, or how I imagine like my friends would be with theirs. But like, she just wouldn't give him any eye contact. Like, I just thought it was really weird, and he was really trying to, you know, say some really poignant things to her. I mean, maybe she just had loads of things on her mind. But I just thought, okay. I put again that the setting of the wedding. I think all the settings of the weddings have been really, really awesome. I have put in here that I'm 90% certain that they're gonna get married. The vows were both beautiful. I think, you know, he really put a lot into what he said. I think she also said a lot of good stuff as well. So I was equally impressed with the vows. Ultimately, though, he said no. Man said no. He's like, I need to be honest, it's not a goodbye, it's just not the time for us. We've got mountains still to climb. And, you know, he goes to try and hug her and stuff, and she's like, don't hug me. Don't hug me. You know, he's crying when he walks out, and as like, so he's already outside crying, and then like she walks past the camera, like cuts across, and she walks past him as he's crying. She really wants to be left alone. All her friends are like, you're okay. She's like, I just want to be left on my own. Kat's really embarrassed. She's like, I can't believe that, you know, I'm just embarrassed in front of everybody. Freddie does then go and speak to her parents, which I thought was really kind of brave of him. It wasn't brave. I mean, what's he gonna do? But you know, I think because her parents were really distraught for her, but you know, he was honest about how he felt, and he was honest about um, you know, some of the struggles that they had, and he was like, look, it's not a no forever. It's like, you know, there's genuine feelings there, and I do love her. So, and I think that made them feel better, and I think they were like, you know, fair play to him. Then goes to see her, and you know, they speak about it and stuff, and he's trying to be really nice, but she's heartbroken. She thought she's walking out there being Mrs. Freddie, so she's really really cut up about it. And I put here that the situation with Ollie and Demi, even though they didn't get married, it felt so much lighter, and everyone was kind of on the same page and happy about it than it did for Kat. She just said, "Look, you know, it's one of those things. I'm just really sad. I'm just really, really sad." And then the episodes end with Tom and Maria. You know, are they really over? And she's like, "Well, yeah, I think we are." And then it ends with the, you know, everyone partying, Nicole and Benaya and Bobby and Jasmine to Bobby's tune, which is Body of a Dancer. So yeah, episode 10 and 11. Episode 10 and 11. As I said, I called the majority of it. I did call the majority of it. And I wasn't like overtly surprised by any of them. Like, I did have to pause for Tom and Maria. even though I had an inkling and a feeling by the way that he was acting, I still had to pause it because I was like, "There's no way that you just sat down with her poor mum, holding her hand, and I'm gonna call your mum, and and it's like, well, why do that? Like, I would just avoid. If anything, I would avoid all of that. Like, if they were like, oh, he's got no manners. Believe me, it's far better that I didn't sit down there and look you in your eyeball and tell you that, yeah, do you know what? You can trust me. I've got your daughter's best interests at heart. Not that I'm planning to leave her at the altar in about 20 minutes. Like, and and also that similarly with Freddie, like I kind of agreed. Like I've not been a fan of Kat this whole season really, so I'm not surprised by that. But I I didn't understand why he bought her the earrings. I'm like, why would you buy someone a gift on their wedding day, which indicates, and especially such a beautiful gift that matches the ring, and why would you buy her that when you had, when it's likely that you had the intention and you knew that you weren't gonna go through with it? That just seems kind of backwards to me. I think he could have maybe not even said anything. Do you know what I mean? And maybe she would have got a feeling to like, I've not heard from him, so she could kind of mentally prepare herself. But to have her wearing the earrings that you brought, I'm just like, dude, that's baffling behavior. That is, I don't quite understand that. Ollie and Demi, like I said, I think they ended their situation so maturely, and I think as much as it was like a bit of a bit of a shock for him, I think I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine at any point expecting that the person that I've been like shacked up with for months now, that we go our separate ways to get ready for this wedding and we don't conversate at all. Like I can't imagine that. So there must have been something in his head that said, well, there's a good potential that maybe this is not going to happen. I don't know. But yeah, I think the most shocking one for me was definitely Tom and Maria out of everybody. So yeah, that's the end of Love Is Blind. So I mean, I was very much ready for the reunion anyway, and it just so happens that the reunion was today. So I'm gonna do that on the next one. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys thought. Thank you for watching with me. If you did enjoy this, then please do drop me a like and subscribe. That'd be great. Thank you very much. And yeah, were there any surprises for you? Did you call it like I called it, or were you completely shocked by anybody? And what I mean by now, I would imagine you have seen the reunion, or you know what's about to happen in the reunion. So it'd be interesting to know what you thought in regards to that. But I'll comment that on the next episode. So yeah, for now, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.